What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you guys. Well, a guide to investing in the trading card game Yu-Gi-Oh! In fact, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to get rid of my camera so we can go into the slideshow presentation that I set up for you guys. Before we begin, I just want to say, guys, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, like button, comment down below. This was an idea I actually got from a Pokemon YouTuber named Omnipoke. He did one for Pokemon investing. If you guys are interested in that video, go over to his channel. Once again, it's called Omnipoke. I'll put the link down below in the description. Check him out. It's a really good presentation he did, and hopefully I'll do a good one too. So I'm going to get rid of, like I said, the camera, and we're going to go right into Yu-Gi-Oh! Investment. Now, this is more of a starter guide for Yu-Gi-Oh! Investing, but this will still talk to those who are currently investing into the game and those who are looking to possibly even looking to get other avenues of investment within the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. So right at the gate, we have the Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically the set for Yu-Gi-Oh! The value of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about mostly singles, but Yu-Gi-Oh! has multiple other avenues. I mean, a Legend of Blue Eyes booster box, at its high, can go for $54,000. The average is roughly around $4,000. Now, once again, this was a box that was at one time, what, 60, 70 bucks for a store. Now it's up to the point where it's $4,000 for a booster box of a Legend of Blue Eyes. This is something that's, you know, definitely caught a lot of people off guard. I think as time went on, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players forgot about Legend of Blue Eyes because we're more meta-oriented, meta-centric, as in the newest and latest cards. But these older sets, these older cards, they have a crazy amount of value. So let me get into the introduction. So let me talk about myself real quickly, guys. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Since day one. When I first started, I started with two deck boxes. The Yugi deck, as well as the Kaiba deck. Booster boxes weren't available yet. I didn't really care about collecting the cards at first. In fact, to be honest with you guys, collecting cards was never in my mindset. Yes, Magic Gathering was around, and I guess they were slowly starting to work on their collector's market. But in Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, these were just cards you just used, and whenever you know they got really bad, you couldn't really play with them physically. You threw them away. Who cares? There was no real secondary market at the time. Eventually, decks cost money as the game progressed, and so the market grew. I mean, at first we had like Beckon Magazine, and then with the nuance of the internet, you had websites in which you could go and check Yu-Gi-Oh! Card prices a lot faster, and that kind of slowly created a market for the game. When I first started really getting involved in the market, I didn't have any money, so I did a lot of trading, like a lot of trading, like a crazy amount of trading. In fact, I rarely bought cards. I mostly traded for cards, even though there were vendors at certain events I would go to, or even in my card shop they would have singles. I wouldn't really need to buy those cards because I would just trade for them, and that's basically how I learned how to do a lot of trading and learn how to memorize price points within this game. Then the singles market started to take off, so I realistically focused on learning card value. And that's important because at the time there wasn't really a chance for you to go ahead and you know, say, hey, let me put my phone out and let me just check out this card's price. No, you had to memorize the card's price value. And when you have to memorize a obscure amount of card prices, you tend to just memorize it and it stays in your mind. And as you move on with newer sets, you just add those to that little folder in your brain of what set that is, what card it is, what rarity that is, and that price point of the card. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Collecting and investing. What is investing in Yu-Gi-Oh? It's a purchase of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards with the expectation of seeing a future growth of value. Obviously, you don't want to invest in a shoe and go, that shoe will probably be worth money, and then no. You're buying these cards because you want these cards to go up in value in the future of the game. You're not putting money on duds. This video is meant to help those who are looking to diversify your investment portfolio within a high-risk speculative market. Once again, this is all speculative market. On majority of my videos, the times I talk about a lot of these cards, I'm speculating on every single one of them. I honestly have zero idea whether these cards are going to go up or down in value. But based on previous information I know and my experience as a content creator on this channel, as well as someone who's been involved in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market for so long, I'm taking a speculation on what the value is going to go on these cards. And especially if you play, if you're looking to pay like $350 for Ultra Rare Max C, that's definitely a high-risk investment. Make sure to identify the safest or best value options within these cards, as well as other products within the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. This video is also meant to help existing Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game collectors / investors who are looking to complete their goals in a more financially minded way. I'm also looking to help those who are looking to realize what the value of the cards are, because I guarantee you someone's watching this video right now has no idea what's in their binder, the value of cards within their binder. I know for a fact that's happening right now. People just looking at their binder, looking at a card, passing it right through, not realizing that card could be $20, $30, $100, $200, $300 in their binder. I had a buddy of mine's who I visit every now and then in New York, actually my best friend, and he has original print, first edition, Blacklisted Soldiers. I mean, clean. He has tons of them. Didn't know, didn't care, has one good format deck, and likes to play Blackwings every now and then. Once again, having no idea what's in the binder. I guarantee you, once again, like I said, there's a lot of people who are like that in this game right now. Understanding the Yu-Gi-Oh market. So there's a couple of things we want to talk about when you want to understand and approach the Yu-Gi-Oh market. The first thing is the Yu-Gi-Oh market and how it compares to other TCG markets, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video, how different our market is. The market demographic and the segments. What our market, what are the sections of the Yu-Gi-Oh market? The influence and voices within the Yu-Gi-Oh market. Mostly Yu-Gi-Tubers, but there's other avenues I'll talk about as well. Investment areas of the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card market, where you want to put your money at, or where you want to start looking towards. Importance of card condition within selling and trading. A breakdown of rarity and scarcity within the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. So, the number one thing with Yu-Gi-Oh is always about brand identity. And whenever you approach any market, you have to understand why people want to go towards that market. And the number one brand identity thing that happens within Yu-Gi-Oh is going to be the TV show. The TV show, and then boom, you're back into it. Unlike other card games, let's say like Pokemon, where they have all their video games, all their toys, all their action figures, all their plushes, Yu-Gi-Oh for the most part has an anime and series of animes, a good one and a decent one, and another decent one, and there's some other ones I still haven't watched yet. And then Yu-Gi-Oh has the cards, and it's all about the cards. And somehow through that, we are, like I said, we are currently, I can confidently say, the second biggest card game around right now. I think Magic the Gathering currently holds that, barely, but still currently holds that. But looking at it, I do think Yu-Gi-Oh, even with that limited amount of brand identity compared to, like I said, a Pokemon, we still have a huge player base and a huge trading card market as well. So let's look at the other collectible card markets. You got Magic the Gathering, you got Pokemon, you got Funko Pops, you got retro video games, and you got action comics. And then something I didn't put on here, but I just want to note real quickly. At one point, there was a stamp market, a collectible stamp market. You don't hear it anymore. Bottle caps. You don't hear that anymore because they are irrelevant. Technically, the baseball card market, especially in the 90s, irrelevant. But somehow, there are still markets for all of these that are shown right here. There are still people that will pay obscure amounts of money for all this stuff right here. Easily. And the only question is, what market are you really looking to get involved in? Obviously, for this video, you want to get involved in Yu-Gi-Oh! But are you looking to get involved in other markets? Comment down below, let me know what you guys think about that. Then we have the TCG market mentality and segments. So, these are the 5 points I want to really focus on within the Yu-Gi-Oh market, as far as where the money's coming and going, as far as buying packs or buying cards or buying booster boxes. Number one's gonna be children. Okay, little Timmy's gonna walk in the store, walk in the Walmart with his mommy, holding his hand, wearing a mask, wearing another mask, wearing a Tyvek suit. Okay, mommy's doing the same. They're walking around looking like they're at a Mad Max, and they're trying to get like bread and milk. And Timmy's like, "Mom, I've been in the house forever. Can I get a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh?" And mom, for the most part, is not gonna care. I mean, like, as a parent, I'll tell you right now, my kid points at something and it's a couple of bucks. If it makes them happy, sure. If they're good for the day, here you go. Go have fun. Hey, you know what's like? You know what? They're really good here. Have a couple of packs. That'll keep you busy. So that's where a part of the market is being drained from. Whether that's at Walmart, Target, GameStop, or even a local card store, you always have to acknowledge the people that run it because they are spending money. We also have competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players, and this is the kind of players that really want the newest stuff. They don't really care about older product because they're always focused on the newer product. And maybe, and these aren't, once again, these markets are just one market. You can have a kid who's a competitive player. You can have a vendor who also plays casual Yu-Gi-Oh, but these are just the main staunches of the market. So going back to the competitive market, you have players that are going to go ahead. Competitive players going to go ahead and want to get the newest cards, whether it's the newest card in high rarity or newest card or or whatever, this is what they want, and they're gonna buy the newer sets. That's what they're more or less focused on. Then you got casual players. These guys really don't care. I mean, really, honestly, don't care. They have a deck core they like. Maybe they go to Walmart and buy a couple of old structure decks, and that's basically what they're building. And when a new set comes out, they go, "Oh, there's a card in the new set that was once expensive. Maybe I'll buy some of that, or maybe I'll buy the singles." And that's basically what we have with casual players. Up next, we have collectors. This is a market that is really sporadically talked about because we don't have a set. We don't have like a set person that we go, "There's the collectors," or these guys are collectors. We don't really have that. You can go and you can see little kids at Walmart. You can go and you can see a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players. You can definitely see casual Yu-Gi-Oh players. You can absolutely see casual Yu-Gi-Oh players. When a Yu-Gi-Oh player uses the word powerful for their deck, damn sure you know he's casual. For collectors, they're not really out there because they're not really looking to go into locals and just hang around. They're not looking to go to Walmart and buy the newest set. It means nothing to them. They're looking to get the hardest to get cards. They're looking for either a nostalgia factor or maybe finishing a collection factor, but they are looking and they just want to go in and grab it and get out for the most part, once again. And then of course you have vendors. These are the people who are going to be buying Yu-Gi-Oh product in bulk. They're going to buy the newest set in about 5, 10, 20 cases, open, sort, and sell it. They will be doing this constantly. They get Yu-Gi-Oh product at a less price than you, and vendors can be backup vendors. They could be a regular vendor at your regionals whenever we have them again. They could be a vendor at a locals, a store vendor. They could be any kind of vendor. And I think that's what's really important is these people buy a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh product. They throw a lot of money towards the game up front in the hopes of making quick cash as a return, with obviously a little bit more than what they put in. So these are the big markets within the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. So let's talk about everybody's investment potential for the Yu-Gi-Oh game. Obviously, number one is going to be cards. And you got cards over here like Prismatics, the new Prismatic 10,000 Dragons. But there's other things. I mean, we got PSA market, which is a real market in this game. We have sealed product, which I hate this market, but it's a real market, a sealed booster box market. It very much is a real market. We got the playmat / Yu-Gi-Oh kind of Konami exclusive markets with the UDS play matches you can't get anymore besides eBay, with the Konami dice that you can't get anymore besides the Yu-Gi-Oh events, and of course we have the Yu-Gi-Oh Funko Pops, and these are the more collectors. But this Funko Pops box sealed on eBay right now is roughly around $100. I think this one goes for about $120 if I'm not mistaken. It's a lot of money just going into not just the cards but everything surrounding the cards. Of course we're not just talking about the cards. We're also talking about like deck boxes, the Yu-Gi-Oh World Championship sleeves, everything that surrounds the trading cards, everything that goes around it, up to even backpacks that are being sold online right now, specifically for trading card gamers. This is all going to be investment potential, and whether or not you go ahead and grab a certain thing or not really depends on what you're looking to buy and hold and how you're going to get rid of it. Because if you're going to go ahead and buy a Gem 10 card like a Blue Eyes Dragon, you're probably not going to be able to sell it for a decent price at like a vendor or at the moment, or maybe you can't sell it for a decent price at a card owner who's gonna have to load on eBay and wait a while. So it really depends on how you're gonna grab these cards, hold these cards, and then sell these cards, or product I should really say. So you really want to do your research when it comes down to singles in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. We just once again hit our 10,000th card with the release of 10,000 Dragons, and there are a lot of sets in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. We have sets coming out left and right and left and right, and whether it's good or bad, it's a factor of the game. And this is about half of the current sets right now. I was trying to go ahead and add more, but it's so much. There's just so many sets, and there's so many sets coming out in this game, and that's basically what you have to realize right off the gate, is this game shotgunning sets over and over and over and over again, with sometimes with new reprints, sometimes with legacy cards, reprints for legacy deck cores, and then sometimes with brand new deck cores. And guess what? Konami says you have to buy it, or you're gonna get slammed by it, or a certain card you might need to get to stop a huge deck like a FTK deck, which unfortunately is currently in the game right now, or other variances of the game. So you really want to understand what cards are going to be good to go ahead and buy, and even if you're a collector, you still want to focus on what are good cards, because collectors rares, Konami, recently dropped that out on purpose because they want you to know, hey, collectors, look over here, more things you gotta buy. They're constantly doing this. Of course, competitive players were in there, and casuals were like, hey, if I get a couple of cards, I'm not getting rid of those. So there's a lot of things happening within the market, and you always have to be up to date with it. So let's go over market influences. And before I choose any of these influencers and say anything real quickly, I just want to say, when I saw the Pokemon a video version of this one, the Pokemon influencer for the market was huge. And it's not unique, because the Magic Gathering influencer market for the singles market is also huge. There was a content creator who I saw not too long ago who had well over 100,000, it was like 150,000 subscribers, talking about the market. That's what he did. And there are so many of those guys out there for Pokemon and Magic Gathering. In Yu-Gi-Oh!, we actually don't have that many market influences, specifically teetered towards the market. I put Facebook down here because of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Marketwatch Facebook group, which is growing. I mean, I think we're almost hitting near 7,500 people on that group just about the market. That's a Facebook group that specifically only talks about the market. Links down below. But you got your content creators over here. You got myself over here, V, House of Champs, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tube, Master Swag King, Cali Effect, MSC TV, MCO40, and I put the words choose wisely because you want to make sure you're going to go with somebody that has a track record of showing you cards value. What I mean by this, you're not going to go outside, go on the block to the homeless guy in the corner, and he's going to say, hey, you should invest in bottle caps. I think that's a good investment. Oh, thanks, guy. I really appreciate the bottle cap advice. I'm probably not going to invest in that. You want to go somebody, especially if let's say you just incurred a ton of money. You want to go to somebody like a broker or a hedge fund manager, and you want to make sure you get a good return on your investment. Well, when I show you all these influences on here, including myself, you want to go with the one, whether it's me or anyone else, that gives you the best return on your investment. That's very important. I say that because, and I mean it. I'm blunt when I say that. Any of these avenues that give you the highest return on your investment, on highest return on what cards you want to buy, and the highest return about, meaning the cards go up in value when they say it goes up in value, or when they have a chance of going, hey, I think you should look at this card because the chance is going to go up in value, and it does, and it maintains value, which is also insanely important. You're going to want to go ahead and go with that guy. And once again, like I said, I think you should go with me. I'm the best content creator out there for the market. But if you can find someone else out there and you think they're better, I have no reason to say not to go with them. Go with them, of course. But it's very important. And real quick, one thing I want to know as well. There are not a lot of Marketwatch content creators out there. So if you're out there watching right now, you're the next big Marketwatch content creator. The only difference between you and me is I make videos. That's all you have to do. And if you write a lot in your videos, you're probably going to get a lot of people subscribing to your channel and watching your content. It's very important that everyone really understands that. Because like I said, in the Magic Gathering community and in the Pokemon community, they have a ton of Marketwatch content creators. Now, the importance of card conditions. So I used to own a store, and people would bring in cards like a Devil Swordsman with opponent's land, and go, how much are you going to give me for this card? And besides a good laugh, I would say nothing, because the card's fake. People bring me this card, Eclipse Wyvern, with the huge, you see that right there? That beautiful little crevice? And go, it's near me, it's clean. I had it in my shoebox, under my bed, since day one. How much you gave me for this card? I can't. And looking at Jackson favorably, this is ideally what you want as far as a near mint card. Even with this Sarayu, I can't even say that card's name right. You can see over here, there's a little bit of a nick in the corner, and in this corner, and that corner, and people will try to tell you that's good. You always gotta make sure you get the best condition of cards you want. Now, if you're investing in the market and with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and we're talking about, ghost rare cards, I mean, the difference from lightly play to near mint can be a couple of $100. And what you're paying for is the pristine condition. Obviously, if you want to grab the card and get PSA graded, that might change. That might be an 8 or 9, but nevertheless, if you get a lightly play, that would definitely be a lot lower. And if you get someone with this little crease over here, even more lower. And if you get this card, lulz. PSA grading and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. As much as I don't like PSA grading, I'm not a big fan of PSA grading as someone who invests in the market. I gotta say, the PSA grading market is huge and it's growing. And it might be something that I personally might get involved in later on, but it's definitely something a lot of people are already getting involved in. If you look on eBay, which is unfortunately the only real way to see about buying and selling PSA cards consistently, TCG Player doesn't have anything set up yet for it. But if you look on eBay, you can see a lot of PSA cards being sold. So this is something that I just really want to throw out to you guys out there. If you are already PSA grading your cards, or you're looking to get your cards PSA graded, and you have them, and you got a Gem 9 or a Gem 10, and you're just feeling good, yeah, that's real money, and trust me, that's money that will actually maintain decent value within the market. So the pull ratio, importance, and scarcity of cards. You have to actually have a lot of questions as far as pull ratios of cards. Number one, are you going to invest in it? Obviously, the first question. If it's not a meta card, you definitely have to ask that. But looking at the different rarities, I can also factor into the value of the card. I mean, we know Starlight Rare Chamber Dragon Maid is $235. Secret Rare Chamber Dragon Maid, $10. When you look at a card like this, you have to ask yourself multiple questions. I'm going to use this card for example. How many of this card was printed? So with Starlight Rare Chamber Dragon Maid, we know not a lot of these were printed. Secret Rares, a decent amount of these are printed, but obviously if the card is not printing, you know, it's going to factor into the value of the Secret Rare. How badly players want this card. If Dragon Maids were like a tier 1 deck, and you're looking to invest in Dragon Maids, it's probably not a good idea you get the newest Dragon Maid card being Chamber Dragon Maid. Being the fact that everybody's already looking at it, it's just not a good idea. If the cards show meta relevance in a deck that's not just Dragon Maids, but still meta relevance in another deck, even tier 1.5 level, it's still really hard to look at that card and go, yeah, I'm going to buy a bunch of these because nobody's looking at it right now. You always want to get cards that, it's easy to get cards as well, that people aren't looking at, or the market's not talking about, the market's not focused on, because those are the ones normally which you're going to have the best successful chance of grabbing it before everybody realizes, oh my god, there's only a certain amount of these on the market. Can it be reprinted in higher rarity? So in the case of Chamber Dragon Maid Secret Rare coming out of Eternity Code, we know with Megatins this card can have a chance of getting Prismatic Rare printed, which I think would be higher than Secret Rare. We know there's always a chance of the card being Ultimate Rare, and as much as I say the card would never do that, they've been on a weird waifu anime kind of Ultimate Rare fixing. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. But as far as Chamber Dragon Maid Starlight Rare, we 100% know this is the highest rarity. And is anyone talking about this card? Once again, like going back to what I'm saying, is anyone talking about this card being meta relevant? Is everyone going, hey man, you gotta try this new deck out, it runs 3 Chamber Dragon Maid in it? No other Dragon Maids, but it just runs this card because meta relevance. That can factor into the current price of the card, and the minute that card phases out of being meta relevant within that deck, the value of the card obviously will go down as YuGiOh players get rid of that card. How many does the market currently has? So how many is listed basically within TCG Player? You can obviously check out places like eBay, Troll and Toad, Core TCG, all these other websites, Amazon, but ideally, how many is in TCG Player? If you click on this card in TCG Player and you see 10 pages of it, you're probably not going to really want to go in it. Especially if those 10 pages are holding walls of like 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 of these cards. It just doesn't make sense to go ahead and buy this card now for its current price point. And what market size demographic does this reach? What I mean by that is casuals looking to play Dragon Maids? Realistically, they're probably not because the deck's relatively pretty expensive right now. A competitive player is looking to play Dragon Maids. Well, there's a deck that kind of uses it, I guess. Maybe, to a degree. I mean, there's one deck that uses, what, 3 Dragon Maid? I think Rockets. They use 3 Chamber and a spell card. Do collectors care about Dragon Maids? No. Dragon Maids weren't part of the YuGiOh original TV show. I think we're seeing collectors move more into GX and maybe even 5D's era, but they don't care about Dragon Maids right now. It means nothing to them. So these are the kind of questions you have to ask yourself when you look at a single card. How can it go up in the market? What's the potential? And once again, like I said, these are things you gotta constantly ask yourself on every single card if you're looking to invest in the card. Up next, the basic rules of supply and demand. Like I said before with Chamber Dragon Maid, if there's not many Chamber Dragon Maid Secret Rares in the TCG Player marketplace, then obviously with the low supply, it's easier to create a demand. Unfortunately, the YuGiOh market can easily be manipulated right now, currently. I think that will change. I think with Eternity Code, we saw Konami kind of leveling out the ratios for Secret Rares, not Prismatics, of course, but Secret Rares, and we didn't see cards really spike crazy high in value like we saw in previous sets. So I do think supply and demand will change for core sets. I don't know as far as moving forward on other cards being released, will the rules of supply and demand change? And what I mean by that is Konami going to release enough of these cards so the demand is reached? Or is Konami going to do it with the prismatic version, where they go, oh, here's one prismatic, 2 cases, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that meets the demand. Obviously it doesn't. Then you see prismatic cards like Appaloosa hit like $200, and Konami goes, yep, that's exactly what we wanted to do, dance puppets. It just makes no sense. Next, guys, what makes the YuGiOh market unique? So, like I said, I originally found this video idea from a guy, Omnipoke from Pokemon, and he's talking about his marketplace. There's a Magic Gathering content creators that do their market watches, their singles cards as well, and I look into that market as well. And I really want to go a couple of factors that makes the YuGiOh market insanely unique compared to any other market, period. So number one, we are the fastest TCG market right now. We are just releasing so much right now as far as sets. We are growing constantly, especially with Yu-Gi-Oh players that hated Master Rule 4 coming back in Master Rule 5, physically growing in players, and we are constantly having Yu-Gi-Oh players go back into the market and choose what they want, because you get one deck and then you want to go after another deck, you want to go after another deck. Whereas Pokemon, you're realistically gonna want to buy like maybe one, maybe two decks, and you're good to go. Magic the Gathering, I mean, they have different formats, but most Magic Gathering players are not playing every single format. They play like a couple of them, and these formats are relatively expensive, so they're not going to go in and buy a bunch of decks, where Yu-Gi-Oh players would easily go in and buy a bunch of deck cores, whether it's tier 1, tier 1.5, like Burning Abyss. They're just going to go ahead and do that. Lack of Marketwatch viewers and content creators. So I think this currently makes the Yu-Gi-Oh market insanely unique. We have a huge amount of cards that have great potential to move up in the market, and we don't have enough content creators to really show light on those cards. So I think that's something that really makes us unique in the fact that there's a lot of gold still out there. There's a lot of buried treasure still on the TCG player marketplace. A ton of it. And I think that's something that, you know, makes Yu-Gi-Oh players kind of want to look back into the market and say, what do we do have here? What do we have? Because with the Pokemon market, with the Magic Gathering market, they're at this point, they're fighting for scraps. With the Yu-Gi-Oh market, we just have buried treasure. That's basically the best way to, you know, come through with it. And next up, we have faster set dumps equal new cards in the market, meaning we're getting newer sets constantly. Effect Village is on its umpteenth millionth reprint, and still going. Konami's like, you know what? Let's make it go up this time. Prismatic Effect Village, because why not? And the value of the Prismatic goes up higher. The Ultimate Rare value is still high up there. And everybody else, I'm gonna play commons. Lulls. So I think looking at the set dumps going into the market, it definitely creates a new dynamic for the game, as opposed to Magic Gathering and Pokemon, where the sets are still coming out, just not as fast as the Yu-Gi-Oh sets, especially with the amount of our reprints, which is insanely huge. Our reprint market beats any reprint market on any TCG card game. And then we have an incredibly stable collector's market. Even though we have all these new cards coming out, even though we have so many cards that have good value in the market, the collector's market for the most part isn't really that crazy. In fact, it's slowly been increasing. I mean, look at Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon. That's a perfect example of a card that at one point was like a $75 Ghost Rare, which is at that time considered a collector's rare card like it is now. But now it's $750 and beyond for Ghost Rare First Edition Stardust Dragon. This is what I'm saying about the collector's market. That is a very stable market. Definitely a very crazy market, because you're talking about numbers that you're not talking about with regular competitive decks. And it's something that collectors know, and they're going in on, and they're grabbing more and more and more, slowly but surely. A reprint changes card prices constantly. So this is important because there's a reprinted Effect Veiler. Prismatic Rare. Cards over $500. Why? Because it's hard to get. Konami says Prismatics are hard to get. It's hard to get. Do you want it? $500. That's a good deal. That's literally how it works within the market. So looking at all these reprints of all these cards, the card prices of the original prints, the card prices of even the higher rarity versions like Ultimate Rare, Ghost Rares even, they kind of fluctuate a little bit. I mean, look at Collector's Rare Stardust Dragon, for instance. It came out and its value is all over the place. And that card's a reprint. It's not. That was the first time we got it. We're getting Utopia again. We're getting this Glyph Utopia. That card's insanely a lot of money, and it's a reprint. So the reprints are definitely changing the market constantly. Not even just a known reprint. The news of a reprint coming out, not even here in America, but in the OCG, will drastically change the value on cards. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's definitely something to note when it does happen. Especially what was it? The alternate art version of the Boros guy. Oh my god. The Boros. One of the Boros guys. I'm really bad at the name. Comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. Second biggest TCG, and we're soon to be the first. That's a big deal. Magic the Gathering is slowly moving away from the physical paper Magic in stores. Magic stores are definitely hurting from this. They stopped all sanctioned play for the year. They're really promoting their players to play in Magic the Gathering Arena, which is a smart idea for the company because they make more money because they don't gotta ship things out. They don't gotta create this physical product. They can sell digital product, which is not tradable, mind you. just insanely highway robbery, but they're making a bank on it. They're making a ton of money, and they want players to play that as opposed to physical Magic the Gathering. It will not kill the Magic the Gathering market. I don't think you can never kill that market, but it will definitely lower the amount of value that players put into the newer cards, and that will lower amount of value players go in on Magic the Gathering to play the game. Because why play a game if your locus is 4 players? Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, which at certain places used to have 4 players, is growing as a game. Pokemon's behind us, don't get me wrong, but Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely the number 2. We are growing just as fast as any other card game out there, despite the fact that we have the worst, and I mean the worst way to train new players. People are still coming into this game. It's absolutely ludicrous. What makes this market unique is this is the hardest market for new buyers. If you're somebody like, let's say the guy from Alpha Investments, and you're like, I want to get involved in Yu-Gi-Oh! That sounds like an easy idea to do. You're going to get bodied by the market. If you constantly buy prismatic rares going, these are all good money cards, I don't need to look at anything else. Ghost rares, they're dead to me. Like, if you don't look at the market for what it is and try to go in and manipulate the market, try to go and put money in the market and do it incorrectly, you can get burned badly. And that's something that now a lot of Marketwatch content creators, including myself, talk about, the repercussions of going in the market incorrectly. But that can happen. The Yu-Gi-Oh market is made, I think it's designed as a market what it is, for people that know what they're talking about, know what they're doing. And the second something gets manipulated, Yu-Gi-Oh players normally are relatively intelligent enough to back away. Like, we saw Metamorphosis Super Rare go up to $200. Nobody's going in going, yep, I'll buy me some Metamorphosis Super Rare for $200. They're just like, well, screw that card. And that's what's going to happen with a lot of these people that are going to try to manipulate the Yu-Gi-Oh market. If they try to manipulate high dollar cards, or they try to go in the Yu-Gi-Oh market without knowing what's going to happen, they're going to get destroyed. The Yu-Gi-Oh market is designed for this. It's kind of like an inherent defense that we don't talk about because we just benefit for it constantly. We don't really acknowledge it. Also, subscribe to my channel, stay on top of the market. I do Marketwatch videos almost daily on weekdays. All right. So up next, guys, diversify. This is something I constantly talk about when I do my Yu-Gi-Oh live streams. Make sure the notification bell if you're already subscribed. If you are a Yu-Gi-Oh player, you own something like Appaloosa Board of Gods, and you have investments within the Yu-Gi-Oh market, what's better than to have investments within other markets? We could talk about investments in Magic the Gathering, because once again, I still think they're gonna have a huge secondary market. It's never gonna go away, and you can invest in that market. The Pokemon market is an insanely good market to invest in, because even though I feel like there are Pokemon Marketwatch content creators that talk about the singles within the market, there's still things I don't feel like they're touching on. And I say before, I'll say it again, Secret Pokemon energies are going to be worth an insane highly amount of money. Unless Pokemon like someone reprints Secret Energies, that is gonna be worth a ton of money. And also you can invest in stocks. I mean, Robinhood's a good stock app. I use TD Ameritrade as well. It's another great stock app. Or even Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. These are things you can also invest in. Diversify your portfolio gives you the best chance to increase your odds of actually making money within the markets. If you put all your money and buy only Appaloosa Board of Goddess, you're just not gonna make money. It's as simple as that. So where to find accurate card value? Unfortunately, Toronto used to be the Bible, and it's not anymore. It's just not the Bible anymore. It just is what it is. eBay, people pretend it's the Bible. It's not. It's not even close. It's just a joke when people go, "Oh, I check eBay prices." You just laugh at this point. You're like, I didn't think you guys were still around. I thought your buyers got destroyed. Amazon is another place where people go and buy cards, but it's not where you should go and check for the value of cards. The best place for checking value right now is TCG Player. If you're in Europe, ignore everything I just said right now. You have Card Market. Even though I think TCG Player is still really good in the Bible, Card Market, if you're in Europe, obviously is what you use. But for everybody else, TCG Player is the Bible for the market. I think this is the go-to price point. Can it be manipulated? Of course it can. I believe any one of these markets can be manipulated with enough money, but TCG Player is definitely the best market. It's a market all content creators that talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh market talk about, and it's a market that we're going to continue to talk about as time goes on, because it's easily the most accurate market for card value out here. So, you should subscribe to my channel once again in case you guys are new to this. Channel. I talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh market. Let's go over a couple of factors. Number one, the market has and will continue to grow. People think the market's gonna be some kind of housing market where it's gonna bubble and pop, and somehow Yu-Gi-Oh players that own like a bunch of old school collectible cards are gonna be like, I just need to sell these cards. I need to sell my Ultimate Rare Hero cards. I need to sell Ghost Rare Stars. I need to sell all my Prismax. Why? Because the market blew up and I need to sell. It doesn't work that way. The Yu-Gi-Oh market at the worst will stabilize as it is right now. That's something a lot of people, that's a pill a lot of people have to swallow. Some as a suppository if they don't have enough money in their pockets. The market will always grow in the Yu-Gi-Oh market. It's just how it works. Like I said, it's just gonna continue to happen. So you just gotta accept it and move on from this point on if you are new to that. Next, new Marketwatch channels will definitely start. I feel like even though there's not a lot of Marketwatch channels on YouTube for Yu-Gi-Oh players, we will start seeing new Marketwatch content creators. Alternatively, Marketwatch YouTubers that are currently doing Marketwatches will continue to grow as this game gets more and more players, as this game grows more as itself, as Yu-Gi-Oh players focus on the markets, they realize these cards are hitting some insanely high numbers. Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to turn to the market, and the market for the most part is on YouTube. I think Facebook's also really important with the Yu-Gi-Oh Marketwatch, but YouTube's definitely another market that's also more important, because you get someone that's going to talk to you and kind of convince you as far as why they think a card's going to go up or down the market for the most part. So I think that's something really important to note. Next, the market is equals care for the game, and I wrote this kind of trickily. Trickily, is that a word? I don't think it's a word. I'm making it a word. Whatever. People aren't buying into the Yu-Gi-Oh market because they don't care about the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. Even collectors that are buying into, think of it this way, a collector could buy stock of Berkshire Hathaway, Tesla stock, any kind of stock, Bitcoin, altcoin. They can buy anything, but they choose to buy into the Yu-Gi-Oh card game because they care about the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. Now, obviously, they want to get a good return on their investment, but there's care for what they're putting in. They're not buying, they're not going off to their local, Walmart, just buying all the chocolate chips off the shelves. That's a horrible example. I apologize. What cards have you gotten? What cards are you or have gotten for investments? That's something I actually really want to know. What are you looking to buy? What are you looking to pick up? What's basically the thing you want to get right now as far as buying with Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Are you looking to buying like Starlight Rares? Are you looking to get Ultimate Rares? Are you more of a Ghost Rare guy? Are you more of a original print, original set Yu-Gi-Oh guy? Are you into PSA 10s? Are you into the UDS mats? What are you into? Comment down below. Let me know. Once again, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching my video. Thank you so much, guys. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, like button, and comment down below. It's your boy V, and you guys have a great day.